and welcome to Season of War. We're back for another Age of Sigmar battle report, our first Death on Death battle report, and the first battle report with the Ossiarch Bonereapers. Obviously, still in the final stages of getting this army table ready.
It still looks better than mine, so.
But alas, always the work never ends, right? So, but obviously wanted to get them on the table, play some different matchups, and test out some interesting lists.
Yeah.
What are we playing today? So
we're playing Scorched Earth on the realm of Shyish, which is fitting for a Death on Death match. So this is 8 objectives. You can hold them for 1 point, or you can burn your opponents from the second round on for D3 points. You get an extra point if your hero is there when you burn it, and you can't burn it if your opponent has a hero there, which is a new twist on it from this year.
Yes.
Makes it a little more challenging.
You have a bunch of heroes.
Yeah,
I just have 2.
5 heroes. Yeah. So I've got the advantage there, but Shyish rules, realm rules. There's a command ability for a Feel No Pain 6-up, which we're both death, so really not going to come in that useful. And then there's a spell to make casting endless spells easier. Not super useful, I don't feel, but it is what it is. Yeah. And then the last one is the
Nullification
Train, yes. So if either of our endless spells come within an inch of Train, they just poof.
Yes. But you're playing a new list for the first time. I'm obviously playing a new army for the first time.
Yeah, I'm not running the Monster Mash.
Yeah, what are you running?
Trying some horrors out for the really the first time actually running. I've had them before just as a battalion requirement, but I upped the unit size from the minimum just to see how they do. And then I've got 3 units of ghouls, 10, 40, 10. The ghouls in the 40 and the 10 are a battalion with the horrors and the little courtier hiding out under the throne here. That allows all the units to be immune to battle shock if they're wholly within 18. So that saves me a couple of command points.
Really nice, yep.
But I have the 2 courtiers. There's another one hiding in this building. Everything's hiding from those catapults over there. So I'll hopefully be bringing back lots of ghouls with my chalice and my 2 courtiers. I've got a vampire lord, a ghoul king on zombie dragon over here.
It's not terror dice, so it's a zombie dragon.
Yes, it's the non-offensive, less offensive one. But he's got the more offensive spell.
Yeah, I'm actually running a smaller list in the fact that I'm taking 2 battalions, so reduces the amount of bodies I have on the board. Starting off with the battalions, I have the Kavalos Lance, which is my 2 units of Deathriders and my Liege-Kavalos. And then I have the Mortek Ballistari, which is 2 of my Ballista, my 20 Mortek, and my Mortisan Boneshaper. The only thing not in battalion is my 3rd catapult. Obviously, gone all in on kind of the shooting in this build. It has a potential to be really devastating, obviously, but I haven't really played with these. Obviously, shooting low shots, so they can be swingy and no rend. So depends on your save rules largely. But they obviously have the potential, especially with 3, to do some devastating damage, which is what I'm hoping out of them, having invested 600 points.
Yeah.
So that actually, the 2 battalions put me at a 3-drop, which meant I deployed first. As you may have noticed, our intro is going to be a little different than what typically we've done in the past, with the deployment actually being time-lapsed while we're doing this intro discussion, just so we can get to the game a little faster. And get right into the action. So you've deployed, kind of trying to minimize how much damage my catapults can do to some of your big pieces.
Yeah.
Puts me in a position where I think it's more worthwhile to give away the turn. So we'll start top of round 1 with Flesh Eater Torrents going first.
Alrighty. Cast the Chalice first off, because that's going to hopefully keep my ghouls alive.
Yeah, just defensively, that's smart.
Yeah. I failed to cast the Deranged Transformation that would have allowed them to move an extra 4 inches, which kind of sucked, but it is what it is. I did get Black Hunger off on these ghouls from the Ghoul King. The Archregent failed his other spell. Zombie Dragon Ghoul King got his off with a 12. So he got Spectral Host for run and charge on himself, plus he gave flying to these 2 units who didn't need it. Then I just sort of shuffled onto the objectives, stayed as defensive as I could, and then at the end of my movement, I brought a Vargulf on, 10 ghouls on, and another Vargulf on. So we'll be going into Jordan's turn.
Yeah.
But I scored 5 objectives.
Yeah, big that you could deep strike
right
or
onto
summon
it.
right onto this one, yeah.
Yeah. So sort of forces you to
deal with it
somehow, yeah, because I can't burn it this turn, but if you don't take it back, then I can.
Yep. Round 2. Pretty strong, obviously, on this flank. Your Zombie Dragon staying, trying to stay safe.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be going into Bonereapers turn 1 at the bottom of the round. All right, so finished round 1 and Bonereapers turn 1. Pretty much just moved up my catapults to get some shooting off. Obviously throwing my Kavalos Deathriders up on this side, those 5, and then the 10 over here to take this objective back. Obviously made both my charges. I only did 1 impact hit from their ability with either unit, so not great. especially here, really meant I didn't get a chance to take out the Vargulf, but killed both units of 10 ghouls to take the objectives, which puts me at 5 points, tying you from your turn.
Mhm.
So tie game right now. My 3 ballistas all shot at your ghouls. I think I killed 18 total, and then you brought perfectly average back, bringing 9. So in essence, I only killed 9 ghouls. I had gotten 7 of my 12 shots through, but you made 3 of your 6-up saves, which is 15 damage. So potential that another 7 or 8 are off the board now. But you're still at, because of that, you're still at 21, which is a solid amount, or no, 31, because you're 40. So lots of ghouls still left, so they're still a threat. And we'll be going into the priority roll for round 2.
I need this, I think. 4.
4.
Ooh.
You win ties. That is the threat with this list. While I don't have as much bodies as the typical Bonereaper list, the threat of 2 rounds of combat from
so strong.
So strong, especially with me potentially giving away the turn and taking the double, right? It has the potential to be crippling. But you'll have your go, so we'll be looking at top of round 2 with Flesh of Your Cords going first.
All right. Alrighty, so my turn. I buffed up my horrors with +3 attacks, moved them up to charge the Kavalos. I cast the rerolling wound spell with the zombie dragon Ghoul King. So the horrors were rerolling hits from being near him, wounds from being near him because of his spell, and then +3 attacks. They did some work.
For sure.
It just wasn't enough work because there is 1 Kavalos left with 1 wound, but the horrors moved out of range of the Ghoul King, so I couldn't pile them in and attack again.
So, and even if you have maybe 1 on the objective, but because that 1 guy with 1 wound, I remain in control.
Yes. So I'll just hold my 3 objectives. I'll score 3 points. So I'm down 2. Well, we'll see after this.
Yeah, you're up 3 currently.
But I'll be down 2
At least
at the end
2,
of the round.
because I have 5 right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
at least.
So Let's see what Jordan can do with his turn.
Yeah, worth noting also, with all your hero abilities, you basically replenish your dual unit back to full.
Oh, I did for sure. They're full.
So
yeah,
basically means my 600 points of catapults had 0 effect. Again, that's part of fleshing your courts and not being able to dispel the chalice.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully I'll be able to this round and get some better damage out on you. But we'll see. Going into bottom of round 2 with the Ossiarch Bonereapers coming up. All right, so bottom of round 2. Again, catapults just moved up and fired. 2 at the duels. I think I dealt like nearly 30 wounds with 2 of them on 7 shots.
Yeah, I made 3 saves, so...
Yeah, exactly. So 30 damage, yeah, so 27 damage through from 2 of the catapults. 1 shot at your zombie dragon. You made both your saves on that one, so nothing there. I remain in control of this one because you actually didn't have a guy on there, so I just fled this little guy away. So I have held my 4, as well as moving up my Mortek Guard, the Deathriders over. I wiped out the duels, and I stored your 3 points over here. I had wanted to burn this one, because on this one in a strong position, but this one's a little more tenuous. But because you have a little hero there, I wasn't able to burn it. But I still store 7 points, putting me ahead 4. And as we were just discussing, the threat of the double really could let me clinch this game potentially. So you're in a hard spot. But that said, I moved up over there. I don't have bodies over on my objectives, so there's a chance that you could try and sweep up and take a bunch of mine. Let's do the priority roll into round 3. You'll win ties, and I roll a 2.
4.
4, so it's yours.
I think I have to take it.
All right, so we'll be going into top of round 3 with Fleshing Court's turn 3 coming up.
Alrighty. Flesh Eater Court's turn. Top of round 3. I just sort of tried to claw back as best I could. I ran these ghouls over. I had to command point it to make it a 6, so I could get more bodies on there. The Ghoul King came over. He split his attacks, killed off the Boneshaper, and killed off a bunch of Mortek. Piled in an attack twice for free because of Feast Day, and really killed just a few more Mortek, but whiffed pretty badly, missing all 3 of the Maws. I could have re-rolled those with his spell, except that I failed 3 out of my 4 casts, and Jordan unbound the 4th.
I don't know. So you killed 17 Mortek and my hero that brings stuff back. I have power, but I don't have bodies on the board.
Yeah. I ran the horrors up as far as they could go. I brought the 2 Vargulfs in behind them. I burned that objective so that you couldn't take it back with that single Kavalos. So I'll score 2 points plus the 2 from burning that the D3 roll. And then we're going into your turn. I feel like
I'm basically trying to maximize the points and coast from here.
Yeah.
But we'll be going into bottom of round 3, Bonereaper's turn, and we'll see where we end up after that. Alright, so bottom of round 3, finish my turn. Catapults just chucked forward and threw some shots as normal, landing 2 or 3 on your Ghoul King on Zombie Dragon. Charged in my Liege-Kavalos, who was able to finish him off in combat. Over here, charged my Deathriders, your Ghoul...
Crypt Gas Courtier.
Yeah, your Crypt Gas Courtier finished off one of the guys, which meant I couldn't really get enough attacks to kill both your heroes and take this objective. So I just piled in to the one to finish him off, and I'm just a nuisance there that you kind of have to deal with one way or another, probably with your heroes, which means they can't really threaten my back objectives. Otherwise, I'll probably be able to clear that and, take those 2. So tough spot. But again, that's assuming you get the priority roll. Real bad spot if you lose priority here. So let's roll it off. A 3. Cocked.
That's a 6 for sure.
A 1. All right, I think that'll finish it there. I'll take the turn. I'm sure I can clear off your horrors in shooting, and take that objective, potentially run over to the other one.
Yeah, you just go so far ahead on points
that you just can't catch up. And I burned those, so you're not storing them anymore. So yeah, I think we'll call it there. Obviously a bloody game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the key moments were to this match?
List building. I tried to run something different. I tried to run the ghouls, but maybe I'm just not seeing it, but
Not effective in this match for sure.
yeah, they're so dependent on the chalice to stay around, and once you dispelled it, they were just gone. And I mean, you killed them to a man even
Without it before.
yeah,
regardless.
even before it would have gone off, so it wouldn't have helped anyways. I feel like the winners of Feck are the dragons and the Ghoul Kings on dragons.
There's some flare builds that are strong too.
Yeah, the horrors can do work when you buff them real good,
Yeah,
but
as
like
we saw.
they just don't have the mobility that the flares have. They're not as useful that way. I would say for me, my list building could have
Bad matchup. Not that we didn't really talk about this too much.
yeah.
It was last minute decision to run Feck, and we really didn't know the output. You know, I played against OBR a number of times,
Yes,
but we haven't really seen this. I don't think you've ever played against them.
I have not.
And that round 3, my catapults really popped off. Round 1, they didn't do too much. Round 2, they were pretty effective. Then round 3, they just went ham, which obviously was great for me and really cemented this game, I think.
I was afraid of the catapults, so I was trying to dance around the edges at the beginning, which ultimately is why my horrors hardly could do anything.
Yeah.
I was also trying to bait you over there because I knew the horrors could kill those Kavalos, but ultimately it pulled me out of the game as much as it did them.
Yeah, it let me take these 6 where you were taking those 2. Not that I took them all, but it just let me really take that flank.
Yeah, I feel like the ghouls are better off as free summons than spending points on them.
Or in 10s for just...
Well, yeah, 10s as speed bumps, but if I had brought the 20 down in that corner, forced your Kavalos to go backwards, they weren't taking this turn 1, they weren't taking this turn 2, but I didn't have 20 ghouls, so...
Yeah, I think that could have been really strong. Even if they don't make their charge, I just have to deal with them before hitting that, right?
Yeah.
And the big thing in this game is I just outscored you. Really, round 2, I was 4 points ahead, which is huge, and then 3 points ahead. So I'm 7 points ahead after round 3. Just too much at this point to come back.
Just toss them into the catapults early.
Try and
tie them all up.
And this list, so I don't really have a lot of bodies, obviously. The Mortek really are just a screen, but because you brought all your summons in and over there, and you're not super fast in this list, that I could just march them forward and actually use them to take objectives and just sit back, unthreatened. But if you can get it into the catapults, obviously, that's a strong play in terms of tying them up. So that 600 points was just, shooting
and even
all game.
Do a couple of wounds just to knock them down, so they're doing 3 or 4 instead of 5.
And if they're in combat, they can't retreat. They can't shoot well in combat, so it really ties them up. I thought this could be a strong list, but some matchups it would struggle with. I think this was kind of an ideal match where I didn't really, get punished in any ways. My battalions let me outdrop you and force priority, which while I didn't get the double turn until now, I would be getting it. I think it, really put you on your back foot. It let me control the pace of the game, which is huge.
First turn, I was deploying in such a way that you couldn't take first and take everything useful.
Because there is a good chance that I can, right? If I have the option to take first and could take some stuff out. So this list actually, I think, plays well potentially into, Seraphon and armies like that, where I can take first, blow up some stuff. And be nasty, but we'll see. It's interesting, fun build, fun list, good first outing for OBR. So no complaints here.
Yep. Death won. That's what matters.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this and the first outing for Ossiarch Bonereapers. Again, always appreciate all the feedback and discussion that we have in the comments. So keep it up. Thank you so much. And big announcement, this is the first battle report we've recorded since hitting 1,000 subscribers. So big thanks to everyone, again, that's shared, liked, followed, all that stuff. It means a lot and opens up a few new things for us. We're going to get the community tab in a couple days once we get approved. So we'll be able to do community posts and have a little more discussion a few other features that YouTube gives us now. So we'll have some fun and see you soon.
Take care.